there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey, everybody. This is Ty Oliver, guitar player for Powerman 5000, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome back Mr. Ty Oliver, guitarist of Powerman 5000. And Powerman 5000 will release their 12th studio album, The Noble Rot, on August 28th via Cleopatra Records. This album is the follow-up to the album New Wave that's out right now, and all this crazy pandemic stuff that's going on. So, Ty, welcome to the show, man, again.
Hey, thanks for having me back, man. I appreciate it. And thank you very much for the shirt that you sent me. I love it.
Yeah, dude, I'm shocked that everybody likes that logo. I love it, actually.
Yeah, dude, it's super cool, man. And then all the stickers you sent, too, are, like, totally cool. Like, I totally dig it, man.
Got to give a shout-out to Ethan Scott on two of those logos. Because
cool.
He's an awesome designer, artist, all that good stuff. So yeah, man, I'm glad at how these all came out. They're actually pretty badass, actually, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, dude, I agree. I was just about to ask, who designed that? Was that you but yeah, dude, it's awesome. I totally dig it, man.
Yeah, Ethan Scott did too. He did the skull, but as far as like the Siamese twins logo for me, that was actually done by a guy over in Ukraine, I think. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Super badass.
Yeah, it all looks awesome. So, yeah.
So let's jump right into this. How you been doing, and what have you been up to during this pandemic, man? Anything that's, kind of out of the ordinary for you?
What have I been doing? Dude, I'm in California, so most things are pretty shut down here. So I've been mountain biking a bunch, got really back into that, because the gym was closed, and it kind of forced me to get back out there and get on the bike, which is great. But then, I've been working on some demos at home for my electronic music project, Raygun Romance. I've been trying to stay creative, but sometimes, the inspiration comes and goes. So it's like I have all this free time to work on it, and unfortunately, the inspiration isn't always there. So I'll have like bursts of creativity, and I'll get like a bunch done, and then I might not do jack shit for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? But, I'm just trying to stay creative when I can, and ride my bike a bunch and just kind of laying low, man. It's not you can't really go do much right now. So, and just trying to, stay sane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. They just made it mandatory that you have to wear masks out in public here in Kentucky today. So, yeah.
Yeah. That whole thing too is wild, man. It's wild.
Just wear the freaking masks, folks. That's all you got to do for a couple of months, probably, and that's it. Then we're back to normal, I would say. I don't know.
I hope so, dude. I hope it. You start to get those thoughts and feelings like, is it ever going to go back to normal? Like, I sure hope so, man. I really hope so.
So how's it been signing and working with Cleopatra Records this time around?
Honestly, that'd be something that Spider would be better. It'd be better to ask him, because he's, they work directly with Spider. The band is Spider's baby, and it's, he handles any of the business end of things like that. But, it seems to be cool so far. It seems like they're pretty, they're psyched to push the new stuff, and so far it seems like it's been going pretty well. We got the first single just came out, Black Lipstick, and the video. As far as I can tell, they seem to be, pretty good at getting behind it and letting people know it's out there,
So The Noble Rot is the band's 12th album. What's impressed or excited you the most about making this new album, The Noble Rot, if anything? Tom, is there anything that kind of sticks out on this album more to you?
I feel like it's definitely takes some different turns as far as compared to say the last album, which was kind of more. I felt like more of like a, I don't know, kind of more like a hard rock album. I hope I'm explaining this correctly, right? But or this makes sense. But the new one I feel like has a few more, maybe some twists and turns that are like a fresh take on things, I guess. But it's still got the hooks and whatnot. But I feel like this one just kind of takes a different turn, a little bit different of a turn than say the last album, which I felt like was more of. I mean, it has some left turns. The new wave has some left turns as well, but I feel like it was a good mix of what you like and expect from Powerman, I guess. And then this one has some new ingredients in the mix that I feel like, Black Lipstick is, definitely, I don't think it's what you would expect from Powerman, but people seem to really be digging it. So that's cool and exciting,
That was going to be my next question. Is this album, is it more along the lines of the old school Powerman, or is it adventuring out there on the outside possibly?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff that the old school, if you're a fan of Powerman, I think you're going to dig it. But it's definitely venturing into some new areas, I think, and it doesn't all sound like Black Lipstick. I mean, that's definitely, a different one, but yeah, I think there's some fresh stuff on there, but I think people will dig it,
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know it must change every time you listen to it or you talk about it, but do you have any that personally stick out for you, maybe?
I like this one. There's a track called Special Effects that one I dig a lot. It's kind of a little more aggro and just kind of has like a more up-tempo energy going on, and it's just cool. It's catchy and fun, and I dig that one. But there's a lot of cool stuff going on the album, so lots to get stoked on, for sure.
I got to know this, though, going back to the pandemic stuff. Were you guys nervous at all just go ahead and releasing this album during this pandemic, man, without having to get out and tour and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's getting sidelined, and I mean, the whole entire entertainment world is just kind of like kicked to the curb right now. But yeah, I mean, I think the wheels were in motion to get this all going and get released before, any of this stuff started happening. So it's kind of already in motion, and then everything started happening. So it's definitely put a damper on putting new stuff out. And of course the touring has just taken a huge, kick in the nuts. I mean, everything we had going on for this year is pretty much canceled or postponed and, not happening until maybe next year. You know what I mean? So that's been a huge bummer. And, much like any band right now, we're all jonesing to get out there and do the live thing. And especially with, this album's going to come out and we don't get to go do, promote it right away. So yeah, man, that's definitely a bummer,
So what about you guys taking advantage of the live stream possibly? I know you guys have your electronics and stuff like that, but have you guys thought about that maybe?
Yeah, it did come up once recently. I think we got an offer to do it, and it just wasn't. There was just some things that weren't jiving, but it's not out of the question. I mean, but it hasn't really been talked about too much. But maybe, that's kind of just a big maybe. I see more and more bands kind of popping up and doing that, and I think if it's like filmed right and done in the right way, it can be pretty cool. I'd be open to it. So I'm not totally sure about that. It's kind of a maybe at this point. We'll see,
I'll say this right now, and I'm not knocking anybody who's done a live stream so far, but hands down, Dropkick Murphys has knocked it out of the ballpark. If anybody's got to check their 2 live streams that they did the second one at Boston, at the Boston Red Sox baseball field live stream.
Oh, wow.
And it was
nice.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm a huge sports fan, and that was badass. I just got to say, hands down, those 2 shows that they did, especially the one at Fenway Park at Boston, God, man, they knocked it out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
I suggest all the bands that they can, especially with their music. I know some bands can't just because strictly of their music profile. Hey, knock it out of the ballpark. Go for it. Because, I mean, that may be another avenue that gets you guys more supporters.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's one of those things where as time goes on, it's starting to become just kind of, more of a possibility, I'm thinking, because that's just kind of, the options are so limited at this stage that, what else are you going to do? I mean, you either don't play at all or, maybe you can do one of those things. So, like I said, I can't say that we will or will not at this stage, but, it wouldn't surprise me if suddenly we, did something like that. Because like I said, it it's filmed right and done the right way, and it can look and sound pretty darn cool, you know? So
that's awesome. I'm looking forward to that. If you guys do, that's going to be badass.
Yeah. I'm not saying we're gonna, but you know, it's a possibility, you know, it could happen, man. So
was it hard to choose between the current set of songs? Which one would be the first single you guys wanted to release for the album, or was it hands down Black Lipstick?
No, I think because we did that one of the video for that a while back before we did that in like last October, and right before we went on the road with Head PE and Edema last fall. And at that time, like, Spider still wasn't sure, you know, when the album was going to come out, who was going to release it, et cetera. It was still kind of in the works and getting wrapped up. And so we did the video, and then I think at that time it was just kind of like, yeah, I might drop this as a single. I'm not sure. And then it sort of just took shape with Cleopatra coming on board. And then I think, yeah, it was just kind of came down to that one had always just kind of been a front runner, I think, as the lead off single, but it was a toss up between that one and maybe one or two other ones. But that one just kind of always seemed to kind of be in the, you know, the first one in the on the topic in the conversation that was kind of like going to be put out. And plus we, you know, like I said, we'd done the video already. It was already kind of done. So yeah, that one just kind of always stood out as far as, you know, for me that it was going to be the single, and, you know, there it is. It is the first single. So yeah. As
a guitar player for Powerman 5000, do you still feel challenged by these songs, man, to come up with something that Spider's not expecting maybe? Yeah, you know, I mean, it's a trip because, you know, the stuff that's going on the albums now is definitely different than, you know, what you've heard in the past, you know, where some of the older stuff was, you know, pretty chunky, you know, it's got like metal riffs going on, and now it's just a bit different, you know, it's still heavy and it's still cool, but, it's just a different flavor, you know, and yeah, it's, I think if it was just repetitive, you know, Spider wouldn't be down and he would get bored, and so would we, you know what I mean? So it's fun to do something different, you know what I mean? And, that's the fun in it is yeah, kind of challenging yourself and to come up with something fresh. And, yeah, man. I mean, it's you know, that's always the challenge, is to not repeat yourself, I guess. You know what I mean? The Noble Rot was produced by Greg Johnson again and Spider One. Also, Greg produced the band's previous album, New Wave. How's working with him? Do you guys just feel more comfortable working with him? And does he get something out of you guys that maybe someone else may not possibly? Him and Spider just have a really good working relationship. They just work well together. So that's kind of how. I mean, they're like pretty much, you know, the writing team. Those guys, you know, they handle the lion's share of things. So I just think him and Greg work well together. And so, you know, if it isn't broke, why fix it? They just kind of have kept it going. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, that's all I can say is that it worked well last time, and clearly they're gelling still. So why not do the next one? You know what I mean? So as of right now, they just seem to be kind of like a dynamic duo, and you know, getting all the ideas to take shape and sound as good as they do, you know? Yeah, I think because Greg comes from, I mean, he scores like, I think he does like movie scores and stuff too. So he's pretty dynamic, and, you know, and then Spider's got his, I mean, he's so creative and got his set of influences. So I think the two come together and produce some really, you know, cool stuff. You know what I mean? So just great chemistry. Well, yeah, just like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Yep. Is it getting harder to put a set list together at times now, since you have 12 albums out? And is there a song that has not been played live you would like to incorporate into that set list, man, possibly soon? Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, actually the last tour, I think it was the last one. Yeah, Spider was kind of like, we all were hanging out. He's like, dude, you know, I'm trying to come up with, I'm trying to change up the set list. So, and, you know, it was like, but what, you know, there's certain songs we got to play. And then he's like, if you get rid of this one, you know, then the way the set list flows is thrown off, and then people will be pissed because, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to take things out or shift things around because it changes the flow of the set, and then it, you know, it doesn't gel live. But as far as ones that we haven't played, yeah, dude, I would love to play Action. I think that'd be fun. And then there's another one. I feel like there's another one in there. Oh, that maybe I think They Know Who You Are would be cool. There was another one off the Somewhere on the Other Side of Nowhere. It's the lead off track on that song, and I'm show me what you got. Yeah, I think that one would be cool. It's a good ampy, fun track, and
it used to be in the set before I was in the band, and I talked to Ratan about it, the drummer. He's like, yeah, man, we used to open with that. It was super fun. I wish we'd play it again. Yeah, Show Me What You Got would be fun. But the one that comes right to mind for me is Action. I've never played that one. I love that song. I think it's fucking awesome. And I don't know, maybe it wouldn't go over live that well, but that's the one that jumps out. I'd be like, oh man, that would be a fun one to throw in there. So yeah, that one is the one that immediately pops into my head is Action from the Transform album.
What do you hope everyone takes away, or message you hope they hear while listening to any of Powerman 5000's music in general, Ty?
I can say, as a fan, because I was a fan before I was in the band, what it gave me, it was fun, and it had like this fun energy, and it was like exciting, and the lyrics weren't just dumb shit. It was like interesting and kind of out of left field, and kind of quirky, and but very smart and creative. And so it's definitely, there's nothing about it that's like a bummer. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But I always just got like an exciting, just kind of fucking, man, it just gets you like pumped and like excited and stoked, and it's fun. I don't know, maybe that's kind of corny or whatever, but that's what I got out of it. And I just, hopefully when people listen to music, it can be a positive thing and make them stoked if they're having a rough time or whatever. So I think that's one of the greatest things on music is for most people, it's an escape, and it helps you feel good.
Oh hell yeah, man! It's the best drug out there, and it's the best therapy out there for anybody.
Absolutely, dude. Yep.
I can't stress. Man. I can't stress that enough. I mean, if you're having a shitty day and you come home, or you're thinking of contemplating suicide, or just need someone to talk to, or just have that inspiration to make you feel like you belong somewhere, turn to music. I don't care if it's rap, bluegrass, country, R&B. I don't care what it is. As long as it's,
yeah, totally, man.
As long as it's getting a message across to you, and it makes you feel better, and it makes you don't want to put that gun to your head and all this stuff, and makes you have some energy and just have confidence in yourself and want to stay here, then you've done your job.
Absolutely. Music can save your life, man. I mean, it's like the greatest escape, one of the greatest escapes there is. And, just like you said, man, I mean, it can be therapeutic. Absolutely, man. Cause sometimes, a melody and a lyric that hits home for you is just kind of like, wow, all of a sudden you can relate, and maybe somebody's having the same struggle, and they're putting that into the music, and you feel that, and it helps you feel less maybe alone or something, or it, makes you inspired to get up and do stuff and be creative or whatever. Cause it's absolutely a positive, good escape thing for sure.
I got to know, being a fan of Powerman 5000 and getting this opportunity to be their next guitarist. Let's talk about that a little bit. How real did it get when you were thinking about, man, I was just a fan, and now look what I'm about ready to accomplish?
It was a fucking big deal, dude. I still it's been coming up on 5 years since that whole thing came about and opportunity came to me. It's been about 5 years now. And, yeah, dude, straight up. I'd been a fan for a long time, huge fan. I didn't know anybody in the band at all. I was just a straight up fanboy, dude. I mean, I bought all the albums, went to the shows, had the posters on my wall, the whole nine. And I lived in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was in, it's like a couple local bands there, opening for, some bigger acts that would come through at some of the local clubs and whatnot. And I've been trying to get in a professional level band, my whole life, man. That was like the goal. That was the dream. And I kind of got to a point where I just accepted that it just wasn't going to happen. I was getting older. I wasn't really a kid anymore. I couldn't couch surf and quit my job to go do that kind of thing. And it was a bummer, but I kind of just was like, shit, I tried. I guess I'm just not going to get to that point, but I'm still having fun. I'm out playing music. I'm still being creative. And I kind of just accepted that. I mean, it sucked. It was a huge bummer. And then, lo and behold, about 6 months later, just out of nowhere, I got an email from the guitar player at the time, Nick Quijano, and he was like, hey, it was in the morning. I was at work, and I was slacking off, looking at Facebook. And and I'm not even kidding. And yeah, he's like, hey, do you have any videos of you playing guitar live? And I was like, yeah, sure. It was kind of strange. It was I don't know this guy. Why is he emailing me? And, but it was exciting. I just was like, yeah, whatever you want, man. And then long story short, you know, like, hey, can you film yourself playing these songs and send it back to me like today? And I was like, yes, absolutely. Whatever you want. And, so I, you know, filmed some songs. He kind of kept going back and forth with me. Hey man, you know, can you come down? Here's the story. Here's the deal. We're looking for a new guitar player, possibly. Can you come down to an audition? And I was just like freaking out. I was super nervous, and you know, it's surreal. I was just like, wow, is this actually happening? Like, okay. And so I learned the songs. I mean, I just fucking did my homework, worked my ass off, and then I drove down to LA for a rehearsal. And yeah, dude, I was super nervous. I mean, I was nervous from the moment that all started, the ball started rolling on that, until I'd been in the band for like 6 months and played a bunch of shows. I was still nervous at rehearsal, on stage. Like, I was so excited and nervous, but like finally it kind of like, you know, I kind of calmed down and got comfortable. But it took a while, man, because it was just like, it was surreal. I mean, I suddenly was getting this opportunity that I just would never in a million years thought was going to come my way. And it did. And I absolutely has been just amazing. It's been, I have absolutely no complaints. It's been great. I'm super grateful. I'm by no means like a rock star or anything like that, but I've gotten to do things that honestly I only ever daydreamed about until this came along. So it's been amazing, man. It's been fucking great.
See, folks, stranger things have happened. Never give up on anything. That's what I always say. Never, ever.
Don't give up, man. I mean, I guess that's if you're going to, you know, extract something out of that, the lesson to be learned. Just don't give up, man.
What can fans expect at a show from the mighty Powerman 5000 who have not got to see you guys live as of yet, when all this gets back to normal?
Oh, well, I'll aside from, you know, after all this stuff, but I'm just going to say in general, blanket statement, if you're coming to a Powerman show, you can expect to have fun. You're going to want to jump around a lot because the music just has this like infectious, bouncy, fun, you know, catchiness to it that I think it's really easy to kind of like, even if you're not a fan, like you're going to be able to get into it and follow along. And like, you know, it's easily accessible. Even if you haven't heard it, like it'll just kind of just pull you in and you'll fucking have fun and be jumping up and down and, you know, pumping your fist and acting like a dummy and, you know, with the rest of us. So high energy, fun. Yeah. And, lasers and, lots of cool lights and stuff. Yeah.
I remember seeing you guys, and it was high energy. There was just, as soon as it started, the first chord hit, man, it was on. It was just a full out.
Yeah, that's the, you know, that's kind of like what we aim to bring to the stage is just bam, it's on. Just like you said. I mean, you know, right from the start, we're bringing the heat as much as we can and try to keep that energy level up the whole time. You know what I mean? And hopefully that comes across and is infectious, and people, you know, can pick up on that and just get that energy. You know what I mean? So yeah. Is
there a country, Ty, that stands out or shocks you that Powerman 5000 gets support from, or your guys' music even gets played in? Has there been a location that kind of shocks the whole band? Like, wow, I can't believe we reached over that far, and then they actually like our music.
Well, I haven't gotten to play outside of the U.S. yet. I mean, we did Canada, but I mean that's just kind of, I don't know. That's not foreign to me, but no, I mean, I think Powerman is pretty worldwide and, you know, and has been for a long time. But like, I know the band went to, I think it was South Korea, a Korean tour. There was like a Korean tour, like in like 2007 or 8, I think, like a quick run that Spider told us about. And like, I thought that was pretty cool that, you know, getting to go do stuff like that. I mean, Spider's taken the band, you know, pretty much, you know, to most places. He did say the band hasn't been to Australia yet. We're supposed to do that this fall, but it's pushed to next year. But no, I think, you know, especially with the internet now, like music, you know, pretty much reaches, you know, it gets everywhere. I mean, so as far as being surprised, not surprised, but I think the band is it's pretty global. You know, I mean, there's fans everywhere, but I haven't gotten to play some of those faraway places yet. But no, man, to answer the question, I think the music is pretty much just spread out all over the world. You know what I mean? And which is awesome. I mean, that's huge. That's, you know, that's a really beautiful thing, man.
So let's talk about your electronic stuff that you mentioned earlier, you know, that you're working on right now on this new project. Is it just you solely, or what's going to go on with this, man?
Yeah, I started this electronic project well, it's been a little over a year now. It's called Raygun Romance, and there's as of now there's 6 tracks online, and it's all free. It's all just on the streaming stuff, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube. It's all up, and I got an Instagram account and Facebook and whatnot. But basically, it's music that I come up with. It's mostly electronic. There's some guitars, but it's really not guitar driven at all. It's kind of poppy and synthy and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just kind of like my creative outlet. And the first 6 songs had a female vocalist I was working with, but then I ended up getting some guests on it. I'm a fan of their music and had a direct influence on the project. Like Daniel Graves from Aesthetic Perfection is on the track. I had Ryan Schuck on the track from Orgy, Julian K, Edema. I mean, that's a huge honor. I had Sammy Dahl from IMX on a track. So those tracks are up right now. There's 6 that have been put out. And then, yeah, I'm just going to continue putting out singles, as they come along and as I am able to get them finished and out. So it's just going to be this ongoing thing that, and I've just been kind of in this downtime. I've been just kind of putting together demos at home for future tracks and, future releases, but none of them are like finished or ready to be put out just yet. But, they, eventually I'm going to pump out some more stuff. And the goal is I'd like to get the next song. I'd like to do a video for one of them. I'm just not able to do that just yet, but that's the goal. That's the thing I have in mind is the next single I want to have a video for, but we'll see. But yeah, it's just an ongoing project that I have that, I'm just going to kind of just put out singles whenever I finish them and can get them out. So, and it's all free. It's all free. I'm not, not charging for anything. It's just online and streaming and free.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up Powerman 5000's 12th studio album, The Noble Rot, on August 28th via Cleopatra Records. Also, you want to get out and pick up Black Lipstick. Check that out as well. And also get out and check out Ty's electronic project that he's got going on. So, Ty, man, how could folks stay in touch with everything going on with Powerman, by the new album, plus all the stuff that you got going on as well? How can they do that?
Well, it's on all the, the usual social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can go to Powerman5000.com, and, there's all the updates for things there, of course. Just search Powerman 5000 on, any of the social media platforms, or Cleopatra Records. They've got all the info on the album. And I think, you can pre-order it right now. You can check out the new video on YouTube, and yeah, and then my stuff, same deal. Or me, I'm out there on the interwebs along with everybody else. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for the show again?
Sure. Hey, everybody, this is Ty Oliver, guitar player for Powerman 5000, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Hour podcast. Please get out and check out Powerman 5000. Pick up their new album that's coming out August 28th via Cleopatra Records entitled The Noble Rot. And also, please get out and pick up Ty's new stuff that he's working on his side project as far as electronic stuff. I know there's a lot of people out there that dig that stuff, including myself. So please get out and do that. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and trust me, we are all over the platforms, so all the links are up there. Ty, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck, as always, my friend, especially with your electronic stuff, dude.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, man.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.